Hi everyone, it is currently the 24th of September 2014. Meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you today. We are continuing to track what's left of Tropical Storm Fung-Wong, actually moving across Japan today, bringing some widespread rainfall. And Jeju Island in the Korean Strait actually saw upwards about 600 millimeters of precipitation. That's in the first part of this update, but I think most of you are tuning in because you want to know what's happening with Invest 98W. Could be our next named storm system. Where exactly is that going to be going? Let's take a look at the latest radar imagery out of Japan, because that's the big topic out here right now. We have been seeing those heavy showers across much of South Korea. Actually, as I mentioned, Jeju Island right here, upwards about 550 millimeters reported. I think actually nearly 600 millimeters reported since about 2300 Tuesday evening. So not even the past 24 hours, just an incredible amount of precipitation. As we look ahead through the forecast, so you can see all these thunderstorms. Yes, some of you are seeing thunderstorms out there across Okinawa, and I guess it's indirectly associated with our tropical storm Fung-Wong, so you can't say you are being impacted by it. But the biggest impact is going to be out here towards Shikoku and to the Tokai region. The reason is you have that southerly flow of moisture around our low-level center off here towards the north, and every time we talk about that, we're talking about that rainfall coming up and hitting that mountainous terrain of the Pacific coast of Japan. And when this occurs, that precipitation really starts to pile up out here. So not only we're near the center of the circulation of the storm, but you can see the heaviest stuff actually occurring here in Shikoku, the Kii Peninsula, and specifically the Tokai region, just outside of the Kanto Plain off here towards the west. Also seeing some pretty heavy precipitation off here towards the north, and that wraps around the mountains, which wrap around Tokyo. So Tokyo, don't be surprised if you see some scattered showers. It's not just the precipitation, though, which could result in flooding and even that risk of landslides, but also the winds, which will be kicking up out here. In these areas in the green, that's actually showing gale force winds upwards about 20 to 30 knots. Yellow showing about tropical storm strength winds about 35 knots. And take a look at this. This is showing Thursday morning, and I know some of you are watching from the Yokosuka area out here towards Chiba. You could be seeing some tropical storm strength winds right near the immediate coastal areas because of that wind flow coming in around this storm system. It gets kicked up in Sagami-Wan, and really just some unpleasant stuff associated with this storm as that continues to push overhead. Gale force winds also along the Sea of Japan coastline, and then at least eventually by, well, basically Thursday night into Wednesday, that precipitation starts to taper off and our storm system moves off there towards the northeast. Let's continue to scroll ahead here, though. This is your ECMWF model outlook. Look at this coming into the picture right there. That is the possibility of our next named storm system. And how close is it going to be getting to Japan? Let's pull back the picture. Put both of these storm systems in the picture again here. And one main reason I talked about Fung-Wong here first, not only because it's currently impacting people, but because this is going to have an impact on our new developing tropical storm off here towards the southeast. The reason is this moves towards the northeast, but it brings along with it this upper level trough that comes through. These troughs act like fish hooks. I always say that, and they pull these storm systems towards the north. You got to remember, tropical lows are like basically water. They want to flow downhill. So here in the upper levels, you have a trough here, a ridge coming up over high pressure here, and another trough right there. Right now, our storm system is getting sheared towards the northeast, and if this trough was a little bit deeper, already would pull towards the northeast. I don't think it's going to at this moment, but as our storm continues to develop and we have this one off here towards the northeast, that trough's going to move away. But as Fung-Wong pushes east, that's going to hook this, and you can see these winds coming down. That's the leading edge of a high pressure coming in behind our storm system, and that acts like a roadblock. As I mentioned, it flows downhill, so it's not going to flow into that high coming in from the west. So what we're going to be seeing is that hit that high and turn towards the northeast away from Japan. How strong will that high be, though, and how close is this going to be getting? That's the big question right now, because if this does skirt the coastline, it could be, well, a pretty rough storm system for the Izu Islands and potentially Chiba over towards, well, Kanagawa, including those of you in Yokosuka. You're not just going to be seeing gale force winds now, but this could also bring some nasty weather by the end of the weekend. So, hey, if you're out here, this is a storm system to watch. Good news, if you are in Okinawa, it doesn't look like it's going to be coming in your direction. That high and that hooking effect with that passing low from Fung-Wong is really going to be just this thing that's going to be allowing the storm to turn north, though I don't think a westerly track is going to be happening anymore. This is the GFS Ensemble model outlook. This is compared with the ECMWF. ECMWF still a little bit spread here. It still shows a couple of its runs a little bit farther here towards the west. You got to remember, when you see one of these global numerical models, it's usually several outputs and they average it out with these tropical cyclone tracks. Still got some of the outputs off towards the west, but the consensus is that it stays offshore. So right now, it doesn't even look like it should make landfall in and across mainland Japan, but still could be pretty close here. So that's where you want to be watching right now. As far as Okinawa, though, I think everything's going to be all right. Anyways, this is our tropical depression track now. No long-range track put out by this from the Japan Meteorological Agency. So all they're saying is it's expecting to become a tropical storm here in the near future. All right, guys, stay safe out there, and thanks again for watching.